Crap. Hello and welcome to today's training video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to navigate the Housing Authority Payments tab of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority Landlord Portal website. So to do this, the first thing we're going to want to do is log into the website. As you can see, I'm already logged into mine. You guys can go ahead and log into yours. Once logged in, you're going to be presented with this login screen, and we're going to hover our mouse over to the drop down bar and click on the tab that's labeled Housing Authority Payments. So once we click on that, we're going to be presented with a different page, and there's three specific fields we're going to want to talk about really fast. So they are the first tab, or the first field, which is choose a vendor ID number. The second piece of information we're going to want to talk about is the transaction date from and transaction date to, and the final thing is the table on the bottom part of the screen. So let's talk about the choose a vendor ID number. Now what this field does is allows you to choose a specific vendor ID if you would so like, if you happen to have multiple vendor IDs, or you can choose to view all of your vendor IDs at the same time. So it's set to all at default, but if you say needed to find out a specific transaction in a specific time period, like say September 1st, and it was for one account, you could then choose to click the submit, and as you can see, we're only getting information in the table below on the one specific account. So we're going to go ahead and go back to all. And if you guys, the next thing we're going to talk about is the transaction date from and the transaction date to fields. So the transaction date from specifies what period of time you would like to start looking for a transaction, and the transaction date to specifies when you would like to stop looking for that transaction. So say I wanted to look up some information on my transactions from August 1st until September 19th, 2014. I'm going to go ahead and change the transaction date from to August 1st, 2014, and change the transaction date to September 19th, 2014. I'm then going to go ahead and click submit, and you should note that I got a ton more vendor IDs and transactions in my table below. Okay, so we're going to talk about the table really fast now. So in the table there are four things. There's the vendor ID, there's the check number, and there's the check date. The final thing to note is the check total. Now the check total shows you how much the check was for, and we're going to note that it's blue. So when we go ahead and click on our check total, the blue number in that table, we're going to be taken to a new page, and it's going to look something like this. It's going to have all the same information that was on the prior page, such as the vendor ID, the check number, the check date, and the transaction amount, but it's also going to have the client number, the client's name, their address, and the payment description. We're also going to take really quick note in that in the bottom part of the screen there's the grand total for how much this specific transaction was for. So we're going to go back to the Housing Authority thing and note that this little gray bar is also present on this screen, but for this one it's the check total. So basically what's happening in this little gray bar is the gross total for your check totals. So basically it adds up the numbers that you have and gives you the sum of all of them together. So when you click on this number, the gross total, it's going to take you to a really similar page from the check total page that you're taken to if you click on the individual vendor ID check total. Only the difference in this specific one is that it has a sum of all the specific transactions in your specified time period. So if I specified September 1st to September 19th I'm only going to be presented with this amount of information. But if I changed it and made it to August 1st through September 19th, I'd be presented with a much larger variety of different transactions. And so I do believe that this concludes our training video. I look forward to next time, guys.